The next topic, kind of want to go through is kind of like how the notion of everyone talking about James Harden being like one of the greatest like offensive players since Will Chamberlain.
Harden the best scorer since Wilt?
No, he's second best scorer since Wilt. Wilt, Jordan, Harden. And I think Harden has now passed Elgin, Rick Barry, who gets forgotten in this,
Good
and Kobe.
If you just look at James Harden and when he drives to the basket, what happens? Out of isolation, out of a set, he generates more points than basically any player in history. So that's my argument.
And since like Michael Jordan, like they're telling people right now that he is the greatest offensive player in this generation. And in my opinion, like I don't agree with that whatsoever. Like for me, the greatest offensive player in this generation right now, this current basketball iteration, this era, is Kevin Durant. Like for me, like Kevin Durant can do everything that James Harden can do. He just doesn't have the green light that James Harden does now. Now, am I hating on James Harden? Absolutely not. Like James Harden is a great basketball player. Like he is, he's top 5 in the NBA. He should, he's just averaging his numbers because he's getting the attempts and everything. He gets like the most green light to do whatever he wants. He takes like 12 threes a game. I mean, he takes like so much shots. Like it's either layup, pick and roll, assist, or step back 3. Like that's basically James Harden. Like now, I was watching like the Clipper game and they were doubling Harden, like trying to get him like get the ball out of his hand, and Westbrook was on. He was on it that night, and they gave like James Harden more leeway to like score more efficiently than he usually is. Like he is not efficient at all. Like for him to take so much shots and like he was averaging like what 33% from the 3. Is he like 40% from like 2? I gotta check out the stats right now, but I think he's usually around like the low 40s or like at least like 44, I think. And people are touting him to be like, this offensive monster and like whatnot. I mean, look, like Kevin Durant is the best offensive player, in my opinion. Like, just look at what he did in OKC when Russell Westbrook went down. Like, that was his MVP season. Like, he was averaging 32 points, and like 7 and 4 or something, like 7 rebounds, 4 assists. It was like something around that range on 50%. And he was averaging like 50%, 39 from 3, and 87 from free throw line. Like this was like around the beginning of the era that we're in, and he led that team to like a 59 win season. I mean, this dude Kevin Durant is one of the greatest scorers of all time. Now,
I mean, it's just pure hate for me, obviously, and no appreciation for my real skill for the game. But I get it. I understand where we're coming from. I understand what we have here in this building that scares everybody.
Is James Harden one of the greatest scorers of all time as well? Yeah, I'll give him that as well. Like he scores like in like a multitude of ways, and like he's like averaging like he can pull up like 28 to 35 points a game. But like I said, Kevin Durant could do the same thing, averages higher percentage, is more efficient, and he's 7 foot too. So that's how much of a mismatch that Kevin Durant provides. When he's on the court. I mean, just looking at his MVP like season stats right now. I mean, like since Michael Jordan was the last person to average 35 and 5, and that was in 1991 and 1992. Like Kevin Durant put up those stats in 2014. So basically he averaged 32, 7, and 5, which is crazy. Like he played both sides on the court as well. I mean, yeah, James Harden's like putting up like 50-point triple doubles, but I mean, like, so what? Like James Harden holds the ball like 90% of the time. I mean, he has the highest usage rate in the NBA that I've seen so far. Like, it's crazy. Like even with Westbrook on the court, like he will just ignore Westbrook, do like a dribble, that dribble, step back, and he'll make it or he won't. Like it's like dude, like you just become so predictable. Like there's a reason why James Harden struggles in the postseason, and it's because he's super predictable. He does the same thing over and over and over again. Like like D'Antoni does not coach this team. Like for people who are trying to blame like Mike D'Antoni doesn't do anything. Like he will not draw a play up for James Harden because James Harden's gonna ignore it. He's gonna do the whatever he feels like. Give screen, pick and roll, step back. That's basically it. I mean, the applaud that he's getting, like the greatest player, offensive player, is Wilt. Like, yeah, he scored like what? He passed Michael Jordan for like the most 60-point games. Like, yeah, it's all great record wise, but I mean, if you watch this guy, like, you would know like what does he do? Like, he just you're just overrating James Harden now. Like, he is the perfect player in this era, but for people to say that, he can like average like 38 points in the 2000 era or in the 90s era or even in the 80s era is I don't believe it myself. Like come on. Like James Harden, if you put James Harden in the 90s or the 80s, like he would not have the amount of green light that he has in this day. Like he will have to conform into like a system, and he's not efficient as well. Like for the amount of threes that he just takes randomly, like dude, like you would get benched. Like if you played against like in the 90s, like when super physical era, like you play against bad boys or like the Knicks, like dude, they'll see you and they'll put you on the ground. Like when you try to do that little when you drive it in layup or do that assist, like they'll put you down like physicality wise. And it was way more harder to have the amount of ball handling control that you have compared to today. Like for what James Harden does is perfect for today. Like, but back in the day, like he'll be called for like carries and travels. Like, I mean, it's just facts. Like come on, like just look at James Harden, like what he does, like all this like step backs and dribbling and carries and stuff that he gets away with. Like that's why people hate James Harden. Like it's like, dude, like this guy just gets away with like murder basically. But like I said, James Harden is a great player. I'm not taking anything away from him. He's a great player. I just feel like he shouldn't be touted as the greatest offensive player or even the greatest ISO player, of all time. Like there are great players on his ISO level today. Like Kevin Durant, one of the best ISO players of all time. Kyrie Irving is also one of the best ISO players today. Like there are just great ISO players. I mean, LeBron James in the ISO is like great too. Like for him to be like like touted, like I don't know if it's Chris Broussard or like all these freaking media pundits, but look, you need to slow your roll. Like come on, man. Like James Harden needs to prove that like his play style is like winning style because like from what I've seen, like this guy just flames out in the postseason. But it is what it is. I guess for James Harden, like look, this is his last shot in my opinion. Like there's no going up from here. Like if something happens next season, like a major trade in the offseason, like this is it. Like this is your last shot to like prove to people that like your style winning, your style play can contribute to like a finals win. Like if James Harden won a championship, like doing this, like he will be looked at in a totally different light. Like now you can say, oh, like well, like that's how great of a individual player he is because he carried this team like with his scoring and whatnot. But if you don't have like the championships to back up his his style of play, like it's not winning. It's not winning basketball. It's like what Isaiah Thomas says. Like basketball is not played on a paper sheet. Like just because Daryl Morey like focuses on analytics, like does not mean that you should only focus on these two specific styles of play, like that are of higher percentage than the mid range. Like come on, like that's just not basketball. Like I mean, that's like for Daryl Morey to say that's bullshit is like it's ridiculous. And no, he's not a greater offensive player than Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is the greatest scorer of all time, and for him to be compared to James Harden is just ridiculous. But it is what it is. James Harden. If you want to keep on scoring, holding the ball 90% of the time, trying to average 40 points a game, go for it, dude. But you're not winning. You're not winning jack shit with that style.